back to the saddle, it's too easy to get a little bit slow and to get a little bit backwards feeling. So you're finding the horse's mouth, and I say you, but it's all of us. We're finding the horse's mouth versus them finding our hands. Does that make sense? And that's what we really want to think in all of our work, that they are going forward to the hands. We've heard it a million times through all of our lifetimes. But for me, that's just been a big helper. If I put my hands an inch forward, it's easier for me to keep that forward feeling to the hand. Okay? Good. That's right. Right hand stays even with the left one. So the withers kind of pop up straight in between your hands. Exactly. Because if we want them to be even, we have to be even. That's exactly right. And more than anything else, again, we're relying on the feedback that we're getting from our horses, right? So if our body isn't straight and square, then the feedback that we're getting is also going to be skewed. That feedback that we're getting is telling us how to ride the next few strides. So it's really important that the data is not skewed. That's very good. I love how she's letting you into the left side from the very beginning today. Good job. Good job. Tiniest bit of right flexion. I appreciate that you're riding up to the left side. Just think you can see the inside eyelash, and that's not about the neck. It's just a little bit of an acceptance of your right calf into the right snaffle rein. That's enough already. Good. Good. And then still riding her over to the left, but still with the idea that you can see the inside eyelash. Tiniest bit more forward. Good girl. That's right. And then when you yield her, it's the shoulder that leads, not the hunches. Tiniest bit right flexion when you do it. It's a really good opportunity to address the inside flexion when it's in a leg yield, because she's going to be less able to fall into your right leg if you're yielding her up and out of the right leg, right? So oftentimes we get yelled at by our instructors when we overuse the inside rein, because then the horse falls over more to that inside, right? Because they're not really honest at our leg. But if you're leg yielding away from that leg, take the risk and address the inside flexion there, because their force, their centrifugal force, whatever you want to call it, is they're moving in the other direction, so they're not going to fall against that leg. Does that make sense? Okay. I could have chosen better words, I'm sure, but then shorten up the snaffle rein. Good, and stretching up nice and tall and nice up. That's it. We're just thinking I'm directing traffic in between both legs to create an even contact out in front of me, and my seat is your balancing point. Very good. Super, super, super. All right, I'm really happy with how much she is allowing you to move her around, especially on that left side today. Let's go to trot and see if we can keep that. Showing how to be even in her body. And then honestly, it's the best favor we can give to our horses, right? Because if they're more even in their body, then they're landing square on all four legs. Good. Go on a circle. A little straight on that left side. Go on a circle already. Good. Up and over to the left. Good. And shorten up on that snaffle rein just a touch. That's it. A little slow down. Flexion to the right, but push over to the left. Good job. Good. Exactly. And then straight on the left. Exactly right. Very nice. That's a nice tempo. Yeah, and the reins are short and hands are out in front of you. You're showing her how to be straight and square. Close your right leg there up to the left side. A little bit right flexion. Correct. Riding forward to your hands. She's finding your hands. You're not finding her mouth. You're just showing her the end of the frame with your hands. Your body is helping her in balance. Good job. Good job. Have you noticed I haven't complained about that left hind leg today? It's tracking straight. Oh, look at that. Super. Go ahead and change the rein. side, you think help her, lift her up out of that left side, put her over to the right, hands out in front of you, and you can take down a little shoulder forward to this side, and you're keeping her out of that left shoulder to connect her to the right rein. Yeah, and you're telling her the next stride we might turn on a smaller circle, and the next stride we might be in shoulder in, and you're going to stay here at my seats. Really good. Flexion to the left, push over to the right. Yes. Very nice. Reins a little bit shorter on the snaffle again. Hands out in front of you. Good. And if you post a little slower, is she willing to slow down? Start. Yes. Very good. And then you can swing back forward with her. Lift her up out of that left side again. Really nice. And then post a little slower, straight down the long side, shoulder in. Thinking. Yeah, and you're going to stay in posting trot doing it. Yeah, so you're going to stay at your leg. Down the next long side, shoulder in. Shorten up that snaffle ring again. Correct. Riding up and over to the right. And get her at your left leg. Whatever line you're on is on purpose. She doesn't get to weeble wobble. Really good. Really good. And I do this in posting trot because, you know, your seat will take care of some of the issues once you're in sitting trot. So this is good feedback, how much she's actually at your left leg and staying at the track. Very good. Because obviously your seat is not as effective in posting trot as it is in sitting trot. That looks quite nice. And shorten up the reins again. We're getting ready to go through a corner and a turn. Correct. Good. Turn a little early. Nice. And leg yield up and over towards me. And it's a little bit left flexion. Correct. Really good. Then a little hunches in. Still posting trot. Slow down. Make her way for you. Super. Supple, supple in that left jaw. And then back to shoulder forward through the corner. Correct. So the one caveat, I'm a big fan of hunches in, if you haven't grasped that. But the one caveat is I always go shoulder in before the corner. Okay? Go ahead and turn on the circle here. There she starts to block you a little bit on the left side, but the left snaffle has gotten a little bit too long. Yes. Ask for left flexion. Push over to the right. Yeah, again, getting that little crescent moon shape. That's right, Linda. Really nice. And if you close your left leg up to the right rein, she just melts away from it and she stays at the left leg. That you can use the left leg without her getting nervous. It's for a bending and flexion aid, not a forward driving aid. That's right. Good. Change the rein again. Very good girl. Super. What I love about both of you is you took yesterday's work and look how fast we've already gotten through yesterday's work. That's awesome. And this is how it should be. Like the stuff that we did yesterday will become just your warm-up. Okay? Yes. Thank you for at your leg. Correct. It brings a little bit shorter and straight down the long side. A little shoulder forward. Yeah, but your left leg still has a job to this side, so she doesn't think, oh, I'm going to escape. Take your left hand over to the left. That's right. So she's up and out of that right side. Correct. Not escaping over the left side. That's right. And shorten up the reins again, and then 10-meter circle here at K. Snaffle rein shorter. We just went through a corner. Good job. Correct. And then down the long side, a little bit hunches in. Good girl. And elbows tuck in. Yes, and flexion to the right. Bend her around that right leg. Yeah. Good. And then back to shoulder in. And up and out of that right side and not escaping over the left. Widen out your left hand. Good job. Widen out that left hand. Good job. Super. All right. And transition to walk. Really good. Pet her. What a smart girl. Awesome.
That's great.
Yeah, no complaints about that left hind leg escaping. So that's kudos to both of you. Like she's very smart. That gives me the information. Number one, she's very smart. She wants to do a good job, but physically she's capable. Because if she wasn't, we'd be having the same conversation again. Okay? So she's telling you she's ready to move straighter, so you can have confidence with that. That's great. It's the best news we can get. Just here in the walk, making sure she's not more on the curve than the snaffle. Acceptance of the contact is acceptance of the leg, meaning that we're not going to make her not be fussy in the contact by pulling more. We're going to make her be not fussy in the contact by engaging her body more. So it might be a leg yield here off of the left leg, or it might be a little bit sideways off of the right leg as you shorten up the contact. So with the sensitive horses, they're not as tolerant that when you shorten up the reins, they just feel a different pressure in their mouth and they're okay with it. The sensitive ones are going to tell you, no, 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 don't you pull on me. Right? So I want you to think, get a conversation, push her sideways, and get a conversation going with her hind leg. Yeah, turn on the circle. And with her body before she feels a big contact change. Does that make sense? And by contact change, I know you're not trying to pull her. You're being very, very discreet with your hands. But we need to shorten up the reins to shorten up the contact, right? And the connection through her body. So I want you to talk to the rest of her body as you're shortening up her whole connection. Good. That was very well done. When you're ready, transition to canter. Very good. And think I'm riding up and over to that left side, elbows tuck in, tiniest bit more ground cover, especially for the first canter. Correct. Yeah, I see that. That's right. That's already better. Down this next long side, go and a little hunches in, thinking riding forward to the hand.
Can I get you to scoot your chair back just a little bit so that...
Is it getting me?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because it's following quick perfect.
Good. Good. And then back to shoulder in. And then the next long side again, a little bit more hunches in, a little bit more ankle, a little bit more hunches. That's already better, right? You know, she worked hard yesterday. That's fine. She's just, and so again, this is feedback. Her back is probably a little bit just needing a bit of a stretch out. So let's go in your 3-track work, shorten up the snaffle. Good. And actually, you know what? Take the next quarter line and just do an easy leg yielding canter. Correct. Up and over, out of that right shoulder to put her into a friendly left rein. Flexion to the right, push over to the left. Very good, girl, and then shorten up the reins. Very nice. If you're seeing your balancing point, a little bit shoulder forward there, widen out your left hand, turn a little early and leg yield again. Good, ears up. All good. That's right, coach her through it. Add a little right flexion. No problem. No problem. We were just a little, one stride too slow with the right flexion. We're going to make it a little bit more clear. Take her nose to the right as you push over to the left. Yes, and then right leg says, go on, all good. And it's more leg than hand. Yes, exactly. Especially if she's backing up off of you when you ask for the sideways, you need to soften up in front a bit. Correct. Correct. So you give her a friendly place to go in the hands. Pick those ears up just a touch. She's not necessarily allowed to make herself longer, to be clear, okay? Don't want her longer and lower and pulling through you, but when she starts to not want to go forward, we have no choice but to soften up our hands, because the forward aspect of everything is the most important. So go ahead and change the rein. Change of lead through the trot. All good. Well, let's not even think about what she might probably do. We're going to think about where she is at that moment, right? Riding proactively, absolutely. There's a difference in the mindset. Turn early. Correct. Shorten up the reins. And you know, as dressage riders, part of our problem is we have a temperament that we don't like to make mistakes. So I want you to understand, it's not a mistake, it's feedback. Correct. Good, shorten up that snaffle rein when she gets a little bit too low. Yep. Good. And next long side, punches in. Correct, sitting back, project up with your body, ride up and like you're looking up and over the trees. Good. Correct, gathering more at the hind legs. Good job, good job, good job. And then back to shoulder in, right? Because part of what's going to bring her up is added engagement behind. Good. That's all right. Yeah. I know she doesn't want to do. And transition to walk. Good. And shorten up the reins. We're going to give her a brief brief break, and then I want to go back and we're just going to do some walk, canter, walk, because yes, I agree with you. She doesn't want to sit down behind. She's looking to your hands to balance. So I want to, a walk, canter, walk is a nice little reset towards get your butt down, get your withers up. And here in the walk, this is a lovely frame for a medium walk. Okay, I want those ears a little bit more up. Exactly, especially since she just told you in the canter work she wants to be a tiniest bit too low. Then exactly, fix that before we go back to canter. That those ears are cut even up, like to the point where she might not even feel like she's on the bit for one stride. So you kind of break the cycle of her thinking that it's okay to hang at your hands. Correct. If you raise those ears up like she's almost above the bit and then put your hands back down, I would bet all the money in my right pocket that she's going to fall right back down into your hands. She's not the horse that's going to go around as a stargazer. It's just not how she's built. And it's a really good little aid to say, no, let me explain it to you better. You can't hang at my hands. I want you to go to my hands, but you can't hang there, right? I am not leg number 5. Good. When you're ready, let's canter. First step, hind legs. No worries. A little bit left flexion. Correct. That was well done, well organized from you. Transition to walk. Close your lower leg up to the shorter rein. Yeah. Halt. Good girl. Halt. Yes. Stand. Pat her. Rein back. Good girl. Super. Walk on. Shorten up the reins a little bit. You should have earned a little real estate on the snaffle. Good. Canter in that posture. No worries. A little left flexion. Yes. That's a good girl. Good. And a little tick with the right rein and then light. Lighter than what you think. A little faster. And to be light in your hands. That's right. Good. And transition to walk. Close your lower leg up to the bit. Already so much better. Walk on. Good job. Faster to be lighter in the hands. Right? So when we want to communicate not so much weight in the hands, right? And whether it's strong or not, it doesn't matter. Her posture is telling you it's too much in the hand versus how much balance you have at your seat and leg. Does that make sense? So I want you to make her a little bit more reactive to your outside rein and half vault, meaning that you have to be faster. You're not going to fix that through being stronger. You're going to fix that by communicating more frequently. Nope, there's no place to hang. It's like a little tick and then light again and then tick and then light again. It might be the very next stride, but there must be a moment of lightness. Okay? Good. And canter again. Ask for left flexion before you ask, because she's already told you twice that that's a thing, right? That's a good girl. Super. Quick to get light in the hands. Exactly. Hold her at your seat and legs. Pick those ears up and then light in the hands. Yeah! Look at that. There she's more balanced at your seat. You feel that? Good. And not too much hunches in. Exactly. And then tick and then light again. Ride those ears up. Yes. And then light your hands. Good. And transition to walk. Much
Very
better.
pretty.
Up. Exactly. So it's up to you to communicate it, right? Let her posture talk to you, right? When she starts to make herself hear, it doesn't really matter if you have 2 ounces or 20 pounds. It's too much. Her posture's telling you that. She's out of balance. She's fixated more on the hands than she is balanced at your seat and leg. Does that make sense? Good. Let's go to the other side. Good. Keep her nicely channeled. Correct. And from time to time, and you have to be careful with it. I took a risk with her because she is generally forward thinking. From time to time, if they don't want to sit balanced in the canter, I will rein back to canter. Because what does the rein back do? It makes them have to tuck their tuchus underneath themselves, right? And so what is it that we're looking to get to for balance in the canter? That they tuck their tuchus underneath themselves. Yeah, it's all good. Feeling hands. That's right. Good. Tiniest bit right flexion in preparation for canter right. Thinking on forward, soft hands. Exactly right. All good, big girl. Good. And faster to get lighter, especially on the snaffle. It's a little too much curve. All good. Yes. And transition to walk. Watch your right hand doesn't fall down into the right. Get your right leg on. Move her away from your right leg slightly. Good. And then walk forward from your left leg. Good girl. And walk forward. Yeah. Give her a little bump from the leg. Exactly right. Good. And then canter again. That's exactly right. just a distraction, Linda. You're exactly right. You don't want to play that game. Exactly. And that's a distraction too. Flush it. Exactly. Good girl. And shorten up the snaffle. Pick those ears up. Yeah, and then light your hands. Yes, and tell her we can still go forward. You just can't go down. Yes. And pick those ears up again and go forward to it. And light your hands. Yes. Exactly. She's misunderstanding uphill and thinking you want more collection. Say, no, I'm riding forward. I'm not going to hold you in Uber collection. You just can't take me down the hill. That's right. Transition to walk and pet her. Very good. That was a super good effort. And that's being a clear communicator, right? All of that little like temper tantrum stuff, it's a distraction. Don't take it personally. Don't attach to it. Just think, okay, why would she be reacting like that? Well, you know what? She just sucked a little bit back behind your legs. So you had to get her back at your legs a little bit more. And you had to be, she was feeling a little too much hand. She started it, right? Okay, but that's the kindergarten argument. It's our job to fix it. So then you think, you know what? No, I'm going to just pick you up there. I'll be soft for a moment and we're going to go forward. See, there's really no reason to have a temper tantrum. It's all good. So that would be like basic work to do with her for your canter balance, okay? I like walk, canter, walk because if you ride, then when they start to work, if you ride half of that aid for the downward transition, it just becomes a good half vault, right? Because we want to have the ability to compact her and build uphill carriage. That's what she really needs the most help with. She's got energy enough, but she doesn't volunteer the balance. So we have to be better at helping her balance. So lots and lots of like, sit back here and then we go forward, and sit back here and then we go forward. But the sit back here part has to be working better. So that's why I went back to the walk, okay? Make sense? Okay. Shorten up the reins, and then we're gonna go to trot. Riding forward to the hands, faster with your hands. Correct. Ride those ears up and keep your legs pushing a little bit sideways. And isn't it nice that I'm not having to say, be careful when you're going to the right, because you've got the alignment so much better today. So now you can do that. Yeah, all good. And that's a lovely distraction. Well done, Petter. We never complain about the ups. We just push a little sideways and say thank you. Yeah, and forward to the bit. Yeah, go posting trot and send her a little bit forward. Good. That's lovely. And a little half vault on the left side. Super. That's very, very good. That's very, very good. Transition to walk. Good. And transition to trot. Good. And nicely forward, just like that. Exactly right. And see, I would have said trot sitting as well. And think on forward. Then get to that same trot that you had in posting trot. Good. Shoulder in down the long side. Riding forward to a soft hand. That's good in the posture. Go on, go on, go on. Ride forward. Good. Ride forward. Right hand stays up with the left one. Yes. Go on, go on, go on. Yes. Right leg says go up to the left side. Yeah. And then both legs. Good. And then on the next quarter line, I want you to turn, and we're going to go hunches in to leg yield. Correct. Little rebalance just like you did in canter. Keep those ears up, and then, but still telling her there's a place to go out there. We can go forward. Good. Bend her around your inside leg. A little bit hunches in. Super. And then yield her up and over towards me. And think on forward and think on forward. Super. And hands out in front of you. Shorten up the reins. Super. And then turn and half pass. Faster with your hands. Hold her at your seat. Correct. And get your legs on, giving her a little hug, saying, I got you right here. Exactly. Good. And in the half pass, now ride forward. Think big trot towards me. Riding forward to your hands. Push forward to your hands. A half an inch, put your hands forward. Good. Get your legs on. That's right. Super. Because she's quite good with the sideways. So you want to teach her, we got a place to go. We got to add a little bit of tempo and ground cover in the sideways. Very good. Quarter line. Super nice. And she stays balanced at your seat and hunches in and bend her around your left leg. That's all right. Coach her through it. Supple, supple on the left snuffle. Think on forward still. Think on forward still. That's right. Think on forward still. You're still riding forward. That's okay. And that's a normal misunderstanding. You push her back away from the left leg now. Shorten up that snuffle ring and think on forward. Correct. Exactly. And that nice uphill balance. Turn and half pass. Very nice, Linda. And she bends around your left leg. Shoulder to the left. Ears up. And now think medium trot in the half pass. Medium trot. Push forward. Push forward. It's too much curve. Go on. Push your hands a half an inch forward. Yeah, that she's fine. Yeah. Look at that. You put your hands forward and she went forward. Good. Yes. Exactly. Now she's finding your hands. Good with your hands out there. Turn and half pass again. And almost walk. Correct. And push forward to your hands again. Exactly. And half pass and medium trot. Push forward to your hands. Hands forward. Trust your legs can do this job. It's the job of your legs, not your hands. Yes, Linda. Super. Now transition to walk. Just close your seat leg up to the hand. Pat her. Very, very good. I think you need to prove to yourself sometimes that you still have the downward transition when she turns the power on. Because you a little bit stay in a comfort zone in terms of tempo and ground cover. Unfortunately for you, that comfort zone turns into something that she feels as backwards, right? And that's why she gets a little frustrated, because she actually wants to move big. I understand why you wouldn't necessarily jump right into moving big because of the balance issues, but you have to do that work at the beginning to know that your half halt is working, that to know that you can affect the balance in the right way. Then you got to let her move. And when you're schooling at home, if you feel like, oh, yeah, I don't know if I have control here, do a downward transition. Prove it to your brain that she can go that forward, but she's still listening to you. Okay? That's very important for the powerful horse, because we can't ride them necessarily at the tempo that we want, right? Because they have more scope and they have more power, and that gets frustrating and they feel too confined and they get claustrophobic and a little bit pissy, right? So we have to allow them to express themselves. But it's naive to think, okay, I'm just going to allow you to express yourself. You're this big, powerful horse that doesn't have great natural balance, and you're going to make all the right choices. No, that's not a good decision either. So that's why all of these transitions and all this work to get them at your legs, so that you then at the end can say, okay, now go express yourself, because I know you're listening to me. I trust my aids are going to work. And if you give that half out and it doesn't work, then you immediately do a downward transition to walk and say, no. Listen, this is the deal. I'm going to let you go that forward. I'm going to allow you to shine, but you need to stay listening. And if my half halt doesn't work, I'll do a downward transition to walk. I'm not going to turn it into a big correction. It's just a little bit of a reset. Hey, when I do this, you do that. When I do this, you have to wait. And now let's go back to that work again. Okay? In your 3-track work, this is the nice thing. She actually overly waits for you. She waits a little bit too much. That's your moment where you can actually get more leg on without having to worry that she's going to move too much. So take that as an opportunity so she gets more and more trusting and at your leg, so that it doesn't come to be like she's afraid of the leg or she takes over. There's no worse feeling, I've experienced it many times, there's no worse feeling than being on a hot, energetic horse and they take your legs away from you, that you can't use them, right? You need to be able to use your leg on her. And your 3-track work is the opportunity, but when it sets her back, don't let her stay in that kind of setback thing. Use it to set her back, but then ride from your legs, right? At the beginning, it set her back, but you weren't riding forward enough, and that's why she got a little bit frustrated. Make sense? Really, really good work. Oh, I like her a lot.
She's a great horse,
Yeah,
really. She's really nice.
Super nice horse.
She's a really nice horse.
What a good girl. I know, that was hard. That was good stuff. Yeah. Yeah. And we don't have to do more. We're a little bit shorter. I mean, we have more time, but unless you want to, I think it's enough for her. She worked hard the last 2 days. And
It's a lot.
It's Yeah. And it was super positive. I mean, the best news that you can get as her rider and owner is how good she came out on the left side today. Because I was thinking last night, I'm like, well, we're going to see if that left side still has any stuff going on. We're going to see it. But she was tracking absolutely straight that we didn't even have to talk about it. That's awesome. Really good. What a sweet girl you are. She's like, I need extra food today. So that's the work. Get her extra leg that you can use your leg, but it doesn't necessarily mean more power. It actually says stay here with me so that when you have power, it has engagement and balance. Okay? Because here, she's a seat and a leg kind of girl. She's not going to tolerate too much hand, neither mentally nor physically. Too much hand means she's going to go down here. And really, this is something that I've started doing with my own riding. What we feel in the hand, okay, yeah, it gives you information, but listening to the horse's body gives you a whole lot more. So when their posture starts to be a little bit too much here and you don't want them there, guess what? They're not enough at your seat and leg, they're too much into your hand, the ratio is off. Your recipe is not right? And so since you're a cook, I'll say it in that way. I like to use that. I'm not, which is kind of why I find it a funny analogy. We're dealing with our set of aids, and it is really a recipe in the riding. Right? We all know we have to use leg, seat, and hand, blah, 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 blah. In what ratio and at what time is your recipe? So you have to be kind of using those aids and using that feeling to know how much of what at what time. That's what good riding is all about, right? Really good work. I'm thrilled. Huh, sweet girl.
Great.
All right, I'm going to take 2 seconds.
Okay.